you need to take away from this simply is a woman is setting a boundary and a man is repeatedly clearly not respecting it.
To begin with.
And what shall precede it is an opportunity for our ears to be aggravated and irritated.
Why are you recording yourself at the gym?
Why am I recording myself in my apartment? Why are you recording yourself in an air-conditioned studio?
What are you doing with this video?
What are you doing with your video on this video? What am I doing with my video and your video on this video?
Why?
Neither of those questions he asked are relevant. They're simply a deflection. Do we think these would be the questions he would ask if the person who made this video was a man and not a woman?
And assuming the context that's provided there is accurate, which is a big assumption.
Why is it a big assumption? Is it because it's coming from a woman?
It says in the video that he had come over multiple times and she said, I don't need help. So we're assuming that all that is true.
And yet all you are projecting is doubt and skepticism. Would he project this much doubt and skepticism if the person in question was a man and not a woman?
Yeah, the guy was a little bit pushy, but he was also trying to help.
Yeah, he was a bit pushy, but you were asking for it. Look what you're wearing.
He's concerned, you know?
Why is it that you're more willing to make excuses and give benefit of the doubt to the man in the video and not the woman?
You're bench pressing free weights with no spotter, and you are a woman.
Oh, Walshy, what are we implying? I've seen women in the gym who are more than likely 20-25 kilos lighter than me, moving heavy weight without a spotter that even I go, that's impressive. Trust me, bro, there's plenty of women that can move heavy weight and they are definitely stronger than you.
I mean, using a bench press at all as a woman, that's not even an exercise you really need to do in the first place.
I mean, clearly opening your mouth as a man is an exercise that you don't need to do at all in the first place. Yet you seem to be so insistent on depriving the world of your silence.
But especially free weights, doing without a spotter, that's dangerous. Just trying to help you out.
But the point that you're clearly choosing to overlook is that this woman clearly set a boundary that she doesn't need help, and this man repeatedly disrespected it.
Now, you could say, well, he wouldn't have done that if it was a guy. Probably not.
But if it was a man that said he doesn't need help, would his boundary that he set be repeatedly disrespected like this?
But men are more protective of women.
And yet we're watching a man immediately throw a woman under the bus in order to protect another man.
Which is a good thing.
Of course it is, sweetheart.
And if you think that's a bad thing,
here we go. Get ready for the gaslighting.
You're not going to like what the world looks like when men don't have that instinct anymore. And in fact, we are rapidly becoming the sort of culture where men don't have that instinct anymore.
The way that you just described it does not make it sound like an instinct then.
Because when they act on that instinct, they're treated like this. They're publicly shamed.
How is the man that chose to repeatedly disrespect a woman's boundaries made out to be the victim here?
And so you have more and more men who are like, fine, whatever. You know what? If the bar crushes your neck, it's your problem.
Be real. That wasn't going to happen in this instance. This woman was going to get that bar back up herself easily.
That's the world you're going to create, and you're not going to like it so much.
Who you want to be is where you place your energy. And too many men place their energy into projecting and showcasing just how fragile their egos are. That's all that needed to be done, but so many men would rather turn it into something that it clearly isn't so that they get to play victim.
So there's a reason why men react when you give them boundaries. I dare to say that most men infringe on women's boundaries more when women actually express what they are. Insecure red pill men see women's boundaries as competition for their attention. So when you give them boundaries, all they're going to try to do is get your attention every time they see you trying to exercise said boundaries. It's the same kind of tactic as, oh, I don't know how to work the washing machine, that guys do when they don't want to help out with your job. What are your thoughts? Do you feel like men infringe on your boundaries when you express them, or do you not express your boundaries and they infringe on them all the time? How does that dynamic work? And guys, do you knowingly step on women's boundaries? And if so, why?
With most people, but in particular men, when you are a woman that decides to set boundaries, most of the time, men are not going to see your boundaries as a stop sign, okay? They are going to see your boundaries as a yellow light. They're going to see if they can pass through it. They're going to see if they can talk their way out of it. They are not going to hear something that you say and full stop, honor it. A lot of men, because men don't like to be told no. And I think that women understand that they should set boundaries, right? We hear that all the time, set boundaries, set boundaries. But the thing about it is that women will have a hard time standing on top of their boundaries and really standing on business and making sure that they do not do things that they are not comfortable with, because you know how to set boundaries. You don't want to sit with the discomfort of the outcome of when you actually do establish boundaries and you actually do stand on business with your boundaries. Because the thing about it is that in most cases, when you enforce your boundaries, the person is going to withdraw from you. And that's the outcome that you should want. Because if you break your own boundary just for a man to stay in your life, that means that he is now in full control over the decisions that you make, even when you know that you are not making them in your best interest. Because at that point, you are going to be making decisions in harm of yourself and in benefit of him. And this is the part that a lot of people don't want to talk about, because boundaries are supposed to be easy when in practice, boundaries are actually fucking hard. Okay, boundaries are very, very fucking hard. And when you're a people pleaser, a lot of the reason why you're a people pleaser is so that you can keep people around, because you understand, if I don't say yes, that is going to give the person a reason to not like me or not want to deal with me anymore. And once again, that should be the outcome that you want. You should not want to deal with somebody off of the basis of you saying yes all the time. A way for you to know a man's true colors is to see how he responds when you say no and when you enforce your boundaries. When it's two, three, 4 times of him constantly trying to make you break down your own boundaries and go against yourself in order to make him happy, you are dealing with someone who wants to deal with you on a conditional basis. They're trying to groom you to betray yourself in order to benefit them. A part of setting boundaries, especially with men, is being okay with the outcome. Okay? You need to be okay with the idea of, we just may never talk again. We may have a breakup. We may get a divorce. We may not have children. Like, you should actually be okay with that being the possibility of you enforcing your own boundaries. Because when you don't, you're going to constantly live a life of betraying yourself in order to benefit somebody else. And the thing about it is that it is a large ego boost for men to see you betray yourself and break your own boundaries in order to benefit them. It boosts their self-esteem and pumps their ego up a great deal when you are doing that. And my whole goal in life is to not pump up a man's ego. Okay? My whole goal in life is to not make a man feel better about himself because I betrayed myself. Because that's what most men want, right? Most men want to see how far you will go to betray yourself and set yourself back in life, so that way they can feel better about themselves, right? That's what a large majority of men are actually looking for women to do. And for me personally, I can't live with myself operating in that way. I can't sit here and know that me betraying myself and doing something that I really don't want to do is making a man feel better about himself. Like, he literally can walk around and say, yeah, I'm him. I'm that nigga. I got her to quit her 6-figure job. I got her to move across the country. I got her to be okay with me doing threesomes. So this is a large reason why a lot of men see your boundaries as more of a conquest as opposed to respect, because men don't respect your boundaries. Okay? They do not respect your boundaries. Your boundaries are a challenge to them, because it validates them. It's a form of validation when you go over your own boundaries for them. It makes them feel special. I'm so special that she is willing to do something for me that she actually does not want to do. That is how they're looking at it. That is how they're framing it. Do not ever do something that you don't want to do to keep someone around.
Men take advantage of women that are too kind. It feels like a pass for them to be lazy, mediocre, and do the bare minimum. Being demanding and having high standards for yourself often results in Men also having high standards for you. Some girls will grasp that, learn it early, or take advice from people that, try to explain that. And some will have to live through the trial and error of it all. And to those who don't want to listen, good luck. Good luck, girl.
Men are constantly in this psychological game of boundary pushing and testing responses with you. And the reason why I tell you that is because as a woman, you need to be standing 10 toes down on your boundaries. Boundaries are not up for negotiation. Boundaries are not up for discussion. Because some men are unintentionally manipulative, and then some of them are what we call the dark triads. So you need to find out if he falls in the dark triads. Download Astra, ask Astra this question. Please break down psychologically how manipulative my man is. For example, if he is a Capricorn or he is a Pisces. Oh my God, if he's a Pisces, run, ladies, run. Don't say I don't help you guys out. Download the app. You will get your answer immediately. That's what you need to know about men. They are constantly testing you, watching how far they can take it with you. How far can I go with this woman? She didn't really say anything when I did that. That means I can do this. That's what they're doing. Don't let them do that to you. And if you take my advice, you're always going to be 10 steps ahead. I love you guys.
I had to unlearn something about boundaries recently. I believed that boundaries was about telling people what you liked and what you didn't like so that they would change their behavior. In reality, boundaries are about what you are going to accept, participate in, tolerate. And the only way to really assert a boundary is to let people know, for example, I don't tolerate disrespect and I don't talk to people who disrespect me, and then get up and leave, hang up the phone, end the texting conversation, end the relationship. Boundaries are not about changing people. It's about defining who you are when you're in relationships with people.
When a man is trying to test your boundaries, he knows exactly what he's doing. For example, he told you that he was going to call you or message you yesterday, but he didn't. So today he sends you a message saying, hey, yo, what's up? He calls you beautiful and asks how your day is going. He has purposely not apologized for not doing what he said he was going to do. And it's not because he forgot, because he fully remembers breaking his promise. Now he wants to try and bypass his broken promise and see whether you think he is cute enough to allow it slide. He heard you clearly when you stated your boundaries about communication, and he thought to himself, I want to see how serious she is about these boundaries. I want to see whether she's more obsessed with her boundaries or more obsessed with me. And so I'm going to push against them to see her reaction. This situation, if you make the wrong decision by deciding to be the nice one, the understanding girlfriend, responding to his message and pretending that it's all okay, then that is going to be the first of many more times that he will cross your boundaries. And with each time, he will escalate it until the point you start to feel like you no longer have boundaries and you feel completely worthless.
If someone is upset at your boundary, it doesn't mean that it's wrong. It means that it's working. It's doing the very thing that you have the boundary in place to do. That discomfort that you feel, welcome it, because that's you choosing to do something different. And always that moment will pass. Discomfort, temporary discomfort for long-term peace, sign me up. Where can I sign up?
Yeah.
And if you can understand that those moments of discomfort get quicker and get quicker, and all of a sudden they become expected.
Men kind of see women having boundaries as them cutting off their access to their proximity to women, and they need a proximity to women like a life source, like ability to drink water. So every time I say, ladies, respect yourselves, don't do everything that he asks, men see that as my attack on them. Look, I'm trying to drag their wife out from the cave by her hair. Like, I'm not, bro. Keep your wife, okay? Most men jump into relationships after a breakup because they know that we are life source. Like, we make children. We are there to do the emotional labor.
Understanding the psyche behind why somebody keeps trying to assert their dominance in the way that they don't really care about your boundaries, or they'll keep overstepping them, which they cannot do when you hold a consequence. Humans cannot overstep a boundary unless you allow that to happen, because you have no consequences. Number one for them is validation and attention seeking. Yeah. So they don't really care that you're irritated or angry. They're just looking for some sort of validation that hey, I'm here and I matter and this is what I need. And that's a total insecurity. When you allow yourself to be activated by somebody else's insecurity, you've now walked into the chess game that you never asked to be a part of. Ego and control, number 2, super easy. They just don't want to hear it. They're like, well, I deserve. You go into a little bit of the entitled Karenicity of life. And when that happens, you have to remember that what they're doing is they're trying to insert their worth, their value, and it's all about them. They don't really care. Like, they don't really care what you're trying to say, what you're trying to do. So to come to that game and play, it's a losing battle, and it's not even a battle. Let them win the day. Fear of rejection. Yep, they have a fear of rejection. You tell somebody no, they freak out. They go into their own thing. It's not your job to come in on a white horse with the sword drawn and save the day and even reassure them. No. And so what they'll do is they'll get irritated. So know the psyche. Won't bother you as much.
When you ask your man to stop talking to another woman and he turns it into an argument, instead of understanding, believe his reaction. It shows you his loyalty doesn't belong to you. The moment he defends another woman over your peace, he is no longer your man. He is just someone who enjoys your love while entertaining options. Because real men don't argue about your boundaries. They respect them.